guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is Top 5 Wednesday. Today's topic, books without romance. So let's jump right in. I'm gonna start with the first two books. These are in no particular order. The first two books are just ones I don't have physical copies of. So the first one is Cinder. I'll try and Vanna White it, and it probably won't match up in editing, but that's okay. Cinder by Marissa Meyer. Now there is a love interest, like a crush interest, but it doesn't actually come to fruition. Nothing actually happens. This is the first book in the Lunar Chronicles, so throughout the series there are other romances introduced, but for this first one, romance free. The next one is Furiously Happy by Jenny Lawson, and this book, I listened to this in audiobook and it is so freaking hysterical in an audiobook. It's nonfiction, so I know a lot of nonfiction tends to not have romance, so I tried to not have a ton of nonfiction on this list, but in order to get 5 I needed to include it. So this is a book, just this mom trying to figure out life and her mental illness, and just trying to see the positives in life and just living life to its fullest. So I definitely suggest it, whether you have a mental illness or not. It's such a funny book, and I really think everyone could benefit from it. So the next book we have is SlaughterhouseFive by Kurt Vonnegut. I can never pronounce that right. This is a war book, and it's classic. It's a classic war book, and you probably already know what it's about. So next we have another nonfiction, The Hot Zone by Richard Preston. I love this book. This is one of my all-time favorite books, guys. I love this book. This is about an Ebola virus outbreak that happened outside of Washington, D.C. in the late 80s, I think it was. Yeah, late 80s. You'd think I didn't just reread this book, but I'm horrible with keeping track of tiny little details like that. So, late 80s, Ebola virus. There are, like, obviously relationships mentioned, like, there's marriages and that sort of thing, but there's absolutely no focal point whatsoever on relationships themselves. So, if you're not into nonfiction, I still definitely recommend checking this out because it doesn't read as a nonfiction, so just a little pointer there. So, and then my last book for Top 5 Wednesday, The Crown of Stones by C.L. Schneider. This is a trilogy. I've only read the first 2 books. So there's a romance mentioned. Again, it's not the focal point though. So this is a high fantasy, dystopian, save the world kind of thing. As I mentioned, there are romances mentioned, but again, it's not the focal point. It just helps play into the actual story in regards to let's save the world. It's not a subplot. So this is one of my absolute favorite trilogies, series, books. I mention it all the time. So yeah. So let me know books that you've read that have no romance. If you did a Top 5 Wednesday video or blog post, link it down below and I'll check it out. And I will see you guys in the next video. Later.